Quantum Media Review is my next video, don't even ask.
2022 was a phenomenal year for movies, in my opinion. In fact, this might just be one of my favorite years for movies ever. So today, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite movies of the year. Now, before we start, let me give a quick honorable mention to 5 films, which are The Bad Guys, Avatar: The Way of Water, Mickey: The Story of a Mouse, The Menu, and The Batman. Because even though they're not in the top 10 for me, I still recommend watching them because they're still great movies. Okay, now let's move on to the top 10. Number 10, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. As someone who really enjoyed both The Shape of Water and his version of Nightmare Alley, I was really excited to see what Del Toro was going to do with Pinocchio. And he certainly delivered with amazing performances, great characters, and some of the best stop-motion animation I've seen in a while. It may not be my favorite animated film of the year, but Del Toro certainly did an amazing job with this movie, and I'm certainly excited to see what he's going to do with The Burned Giant. Number 9, Prey. This is the only Predator movie that is on par with the original, by having a good story, great characters, phenomenal acting, and great cinematography. Number 8, Fire of Love. Out of all the films on this list, this is the one I was the least expecting to see since it's from National Geographic and I'm not too big in the National Geographic. But this is still an amazing documentary about a couple that just love to explore volcanoes. It is also really sad to see how the couple passed away, so therefore it succeeds at its emotional core. Okay, now I'm not gonna watch anything from National Geographic, I swear. Number 7, The Woman King. Now, out of all the films of 2022 that I have seen, this is the one that I did not expect to enjoy as much as I did, but here we are. And it is a really great movie with a great story, good characters, really great acting, and nice set design. Number 6, The Bob's Burgers Movie. I know it might be a bit controversial that I put this over Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, but I'm sorry, I just really had a fun time with this movie since I'm a massive fan of the show. This is definitely one of the funniest movies of the entire year. And while it might not be my favorite animated film of the year, I still had an extremely fun time with this film. Alright people, here we are, my top 5 movies of the year. Number 5, RRR. This film has everything you would want in a motion picture. It has action, it has comedy, it has emotional moments, it has everything. Not to mention that the cast gives out phenomenal performances, definitely some of the best performances of the year. Number 4, Top Gun Maverick. This one outshines the first one by a long shot. It has a better story, better characters, better chemistry, pretty much everything that the first Top Gun tried to do, this one does a lot better. Not to mention that the flying scenes are obviously the highlight. Number 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ah yes, the 2022 multiverse movie that actually takes advantage of the concept of the multiverse. I wonder why a certain other multiverse movie that came out the same year didn't do that. Anyways, this is probably the most creative and inventive movie I've seen in a while. Along with amazing acting, great characters, a fun story, and some of the best cinematography all year. This film should obviously be in everybody's list of the best films of the year, and should obviously be in the top 5, or in my case, the top 3. Number 2, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This is my favorite animated film of 2022, my favorite film in the Shrek franchise, and dare I say it, my favorite DreamWorks film, period. Everything about this film is amazing, from the amazing story, to the likable characters, to the phenomenal villains like Death and Jack Horner, to especially the lovely Spider-Verse-esque animation. If they stick to this style for Shrek 5, then the Shrek franchise definitely has a bright future ahead of it. However, despite how amazing this movie is, there was one other movie that stood out and managed to become my favorite film of the entire year, and one of my favorite films of all time, and that is The Fabelmans. More than any other film last year, this film stuck out to me on a personal level because I am someone that wants to make films when I get older. And this movie is just a massive love letter to both cinema and filmmaking in general. along with a great story, good characters, amazing acting, phenomenal cinematography, and beautiful camera shots. And it's because of this film that I started to get into more prestigious, more auteur-driven films. And as someone who is starting to see the majority of Spielberg's filmography, I'm just gonna say it. This is his best film since Saving Private Ryan. It's that good. And this film, along with E.T., Jaws, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, and the already mentioned Private Ryan, just prove why Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest directors in the history of Hollywood. And I am always gonna remember this movie for years to come.
私のことが好きなら気づいて気づいて気づいて気づいて